lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell instead of death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me for. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the Aggressively Average Anglers podcast. We are hot off of ICast, and my gosh, was that a lot of work. But we're excited to be with you guys tonight. I think it's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to be recapping the show, maybe stirring the pot, maybe talking some controversy. I think there's plenty of things to cover for more than one show. But we're going to do our best. Paul and I have been talking about this. We have so many freaking videos that we're trying to post 3 a week right now. So if you could, so kindly, do us a favor. Go check out the video we just dropped tonight. It is on the new stuff coming out from Busby. We go do a whole tour of the Busby booth. Lots of cool stuff that they're doing. They brought a friggin' prototype. So did Yak Attack, by the way. And the guy doing the Yak Attack video, I have footage of this. He broke the prototype while showing us it. That was pretty neat. So look forward to that. That's Friday's video will be a kayak showcase with kayak accessories, all of that. So just stay tuned with the ICast content if you could so kindly. Just go give it a view, maybe a share, maybe a like. We really appreciate you guys for that. For tonight, though, we're going to give you, our feelings, our thoughts, our opinions, man, on what we saw at ICast. I think it's going to be an absolute blast. Before we get into that, quick shout out to our members and an apology for them. We were going to do a members only live last night. And you know what? I got back from another work trip that was stacked on ICast on Sunday. So I lost my weekend. Haven't seen my kids in over a week and a half. Haven't seen my wife in forever. So I was trying to get some family time in. I know Paul was busy as well. Same thing. Trying to catch up. You know, we were in the doghouse after going on a big old fishing convention trip or whatever you want to call it from last week.
A work trip.
We're like, this is work, and our wives are like, no, it's not. But yeah, we are back. We're good. We're gonna make up for that. Our next members only live is gonna be on August 8th. That's Tuesday, August 8th. It'll be at 8:15 p.m. We're gonna juice up a schmiv away for you guys. So there'll be some extra special stuff that we schmiv away on that episode just to make up for it. And we're posting some members only content videos. It'd be like extended cuts. One is already up with Bill Siementel talking about the BBZ stuff this year from Fish Lab. And then I will be posting 2 more, like just they were benched a long time ago, just fun fishing bids, like shorter ones, but a couple of good catches, things like that. I'll post some of that for you this weekend and next week. Let's recap. Knucklehead, maybe we should probably catch up because July is almost over, you guys. Knucklehead Bass Series for July, our third to last month. We got one more month. That's next month. If you want to qualify for the team, chance to win $10,000 and tons of prizes, make sure you're signed up and that you are logging fish. Here's the update for July. And, we don't have a final standing yet, but we're going to pick a winning team in like a week, right? We got like a week left of July. So you guys better get out there and get after it. Right now, we have both. We both have the first place person. It's Chris Rocca. He's in first place. So
Attaboy.
we got Rocca Blades with an 85.75 inch total right now. So anybody else want to be in contention here? You better jump on the board and get your shot at this. Just wanted to call that out. We got a couple others. Second and third place on Paul's team, Team Flanders, is Paul Worley and Stephen Elmer, with 79.5 and 75 inches. And then on Team Stark, second place right now is Jamar Carroll with 84.75 inches.
Getting after it.
And Brandon Howe with 83.25.
Dude.
The top three are all within an inch of each other.
Wow.
It's getting crazy. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the support. Again, 33% of all the funds we make from that are going straight to our buddies over at Autism Anglers. And speaking of ICast, shout out to our boy Don. American Tackle Company took the dub, best in show, for that 1 ounce carbon handle. It's insane.
They got best of category and best in show. And we saw that some of their products from that company were getting featured in some of the products that we were doing videos for. I just posted one today.
It was really cool to see Don up on stage. We got to high five him as he went up there. He did all his pictures, all that stuff. And then Caleb won for a sneaky category.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
We have to.
All right,
I will say, though, for American Tackle, so if you guys don't know, they do like custom rod work for a lot of different stuff. So they're making like high-end engineered custom stuff for people. So for example, I posted a video on our Instagram this morning about the ultralight, the super ultralight that Cast King released, and the rod grip, the is made by American Tackle Company,
the
custom
real
made for that rod.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, the seat. You won't see it anywhere else. It looks amazing, and I mean it's incredible, and it's engineered. Check, like, that whole rod is $90. It's honestly hard to believe with everything that's in it. So they're incredible, and they made a rod. If you guys haven't seen or caught up on ICast, they made a rod seat and grip, like the whole thing, the whole butt. The whole thing was 1 ounce. That's usually the majority of the weight is there. And the lightest rod that we held at ICast was 3.1 ounces in total. And the whole, well, I guess that's not true. The poison is like 2.1. But see, that is an engineering marvel, and it looked incredible. So well done for them.
Really, really cool to see. All right. Well, I think we're going to start off with a fun little question. Real quick, if you guys want to join our members only live or any of the members only content, giveaways, all that stuff, you can click join below. I really appreciate it if you do that. And tonight we do have a giveaway from Monster Bass. So there will be a $25 Monster Bass gift card at the end of the show to one lucky chatter who participates. And I think, we break 150 viewers. We do an extra schmiv.
125 because we didn't do the members only.
126. You got it. So 126 viewers tonight, and we'll do an extra giveaway. Deal. Absolute deal. All right. Q of the D. We're gonna do something a little different instead of doing like our normal Q of the D. I thought this was interesting because you go to ICast. First of all, one of the best things about ICast is you meet everyone. You get to meet people in person that, maybe you've talked to on Instagram, right? You hardly ever even see their face. You just see the fish and tackle that they're posting all the time. So to have people even walk up to us and say, hey, or when Don met us, Don was outside on the water day, and he just goes, nerds!
Screaming.
So we have a call now. If you guys see us in the wild, make sure you just shout nerds, and we will absolutely come over and talk to you.
We'll turn.
We met some cool other YouTubers, some subscribers, lots of companies. It was really neat. Here's the interesting thing. You talk to these industry experts, and they're like, yo, all you got to do is walk up to a booth, you shake a hand, and like they just keep sending you stuff. And then I see like a bunch of our friends getting kayaks sent to them. And I'm just like looking around, look to my left, look to my right. And I'm like, is there a trade secret here that we're missing? Because I feel like I've reached out to people and everybody's like, quick stiff arm. I'm not sending
Apparently
you
I'm not very nice.
So like, if you guys haven't seen it, we did a TikTok and an Instagram reel on Go Boat. It's a pretty insane circular vessel that spins in circles. Yes?
I have the stats.
You have a stat?
Posted a short video. On TikTok, it has almost 160,000 views. It has
better on Instagram.
9,150 likes. On Instagram, it has almost 300,000 views and almost 8,800 likes. And on Facebook, it has over 100,000 views and I haven't even put it on YouTube yet.
So all I'm saying is I messaged GoBoat and I was like, hey, I don't know if you saw it. We made a post. Just, thought I'd throw this out there. It wasn't something on our radar, but you got a pretty cool device there that I think we could make some pretty sick videos with. Would you be interested in working together on this? And then ghost, crickets,
Basically send me one.
chirps. Yeah, I mean, it's the nicest possible way to say, hey, please, I don't have $1,200 to throw at this item. So
you
at any rate,
characters? Never.
Did these kids, they looked at the channel, they're like, nope, not at all.
No.
Have you seen those guys?
Guy's got a flesh stash. Looks like 16 caterpillars all spit on themselves.
All I'm saying is if there's anybody out there who knows a secret to the industry, don't hide it from your boys. Like, let us know what we're doing wrong, because I would love to do more reviews for you guys. I just don't have the free cash money to sling around at it. Yeah, and if any company wants to send us a boat, a kayak to review or something like that, please do. Paul has no kayak right now, so I was hoping GoBoat would be like, yo, here's this GoBoat Stealth,
and then I
would
be
Paul,
stuck on
this
that.
is your boat. You guys have seen fishing videos of Paul just going in circles.
I would build in some fins. I would juice up that motor, and I'd embarrass you.
I mean, probably throwing a 100-horse troll.
Probably.
Throttle me. You're out of here.
The sound that thing makes.
It's absurd. Just something interesting. I just want to start out lighthearted. Let's jump in. So here comes the fun part of the show. We called this CopyCast, and I'll be honest, a lot of people are just complaining about this thing, and I wanted to talk it out because we have our feelings about it for sure. And
let's talk about what are we talking about? CopyCast. What does that even mean?
We're talking about
Jeffrey?
ICast. Everybody, lots of people are kind of trolling comments on these different brands. So you see like Rapala post about their crush shitty plastics. And if you go to the comments, you guys, these threads are insane. But people are at these companies' throats. And we feel somewhat merited, somewhat warranted. There's some stuff to talk about there for sure. They're getting very aggressive and angry about it. So let's address it, right? So were there a lot of copy baits at ICast this year?
What do you mean copy baits?
Like baits that are purely copying.
So just to provide a little more detail there. So 3 years ago, the Depths, which is a JDM company, bait, Japanese domestic, so that overseas, not available in America, really, or much, made a bait. Depths made a bait called the Cover Scat, and it won an award at ICast, which is kind of hard to do for a JDM company, to be honest with you.
It is.
And then 2 years later, whatever, you had two companies literally the exact same thing.
Copy paste
the same thing. and not even that. Spro's was the worst. It was identical. They even named them like poop related names.
Very similar names.
Which is insane, right? And so it's like that is so blatant. It's really honestly kind of hard to fathom. Now, that was 100%. I thought one of the most obvious. Now, I think it goes deeper. So, Burly made a bait called the Nessie.
Are we conspiracy theorists? Where are we going?
No, yes, we are. It's not a conspiracy if it's actual facts. So,
it's right in your face. It's so blatant.
This one's bad. Burly made a bait called the Nessie. It's identical to the Flag. What is it? The 170. And which is a well-respected, well-known, very obvious swim, not a swim bait, but a jointed.
It's a jointed soft plastic swim bait.
Yes,
like a mag graph, but with a joint.
And Mike Iaconelli is the one who is promoting this bait, and he also there's a video of him online discovering the Flag, the bait, and he's like, oh my god, it's amazing. A couple years later, he's releasing an ICast. They paid a bunch of money. They won an award. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
And so a lot of people, there are others. There's other examples. We could list them all, but there's a bunch of other examples, and some are really bad. They're that bad. There's 5 of them I think that are at that level where it's just a direct theft, obvious direct theft.
Yep.
Small company and a huge company stealing a small company's bait. Now, there's a lot of reasons why people are upset about that. I think some of them are kind of obvious, some are maybe not so obvious, and people are absolutely hammering them, just hammering these companies. Somebody actually went and put a flag. It replaced the swim bait at the Burly booth, and
nobody
noticed because they were identical. Yes, 100%. It was amazing. And then there's even a picture right? Floating
Yep.
around with like that bait on there, and it's just a big middle finger, right?
So we're talking about the grow
So what's
hang
your
on,
take?
hang on. So we're
Yeah.
talking about the
Oh, go.
grow design works flag 170 specifically is like the one we're talking
Yes.
about. They have a bunch of different
Yep.
models, but if you guys haven't seen it, just so you have. All right, so we're showing it on screen. Thanks, Chaz. I hit Chaz with
Also,
this request like 30 minutes ago. So thanks to Chaz for posting some of these pictures as we talk about these things. Or you want to
raise
shout
your
this out?
glasses. John Delac, welcome to the Chartreusers, my friend.
Welcome
Happy
aboard,
to have
buddy.
you.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, nerd. All right. So
Yeah.
my thoughts for sure. Like I feel like the aggression, I get it. I hear where not that I get it. I hear where people are coming from. I feel like I had this discussion with I have some mean comments I'll share with you guys next week's mid-show segment. Promise you. I've been saving them up. I got some screenshots. I got receipts. But somebody, came in like people do this day and age on the internet. And he goes into our comments and he says something about like our ultralight kit where we were recommending the 13 Fishing Defy Silver Rod with the Inspira Reel. It's like a mid-level ultralight combo. But he says, why are these clown YouTubers like always recommending these cheap Walmart like setups? And I was like, first of all, it's not a cheap Walmart setup. But my point is like, when did we lose the ability to just have like a mature conversation? I get that we're in the comments, but when you come in hot and you're trying to make a point, and you're like, you're a clown, you've already lost your point. I'm not listening to you anymore. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. So I think that the aggression could be dialed down from an 11. That said,
Oh,
I
yeah.
totally hear where people are coming from. These are so similar. It's in some cases not even similar, exactly the same.
Identical. Yeah.
And that is surely problematic because the original creators of baits like these, for example, and many other things out there, not just bait, not limited to baits, but rods, reels, gear, whatever. Like there's a lot of hard work, research, testing, blood, sweat, and tears that goes into that. So imagine being the original creator of and name any bait that was, the original model of it, and then watching another company come out with an exact copy. Like, yeah, for sure. That's frustrating. That's crushing, especially when that company is Burly, especially when that company is gigantic, or, maybe it's Missile Baits or somebody that's been acquired by a larger firm, right? And there are a lot of acquirers, acquiring. There's a lot of acquiring going around right now. So these brands are getting bigger and bigger. It's like if Walmart just ripped all your stuff, right? It's just some massive corporation ripped your stuff. It sucks. So I get why people are mad for sure. I think there's maybe a larger
I think it
conversation
goes
that
a
could be
little.
handled better.
I think it goes a little deeper than that
Mm-hmm.
because the fishing industry is way behind in terms of IP protection, in terms of
Yeah.
in terms of like the dominating nature of some of the big brands because they do stuff like this. And because of that, these smaller manufacturers or bait makers, they're doing this privately. They come up with this great idea on their own, and then they just get literally thefted by like the giant corporation. And honestly, that is
Yeah.
what I think people should be upset about, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
also why there's this rage because you've got people who are like, this singular person, like, and I'm thinking about the Huddleston, right? Z-Man just
Yeah.
made 3
Yeah.
small versions of the Huddleston, extremely unique tail, action,
Mm-hmm.
design, straight up stole it. And like that guy, like now is like, "Wha what? Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking? Are you out of your mind?" Like, and that's his business. Now, they didn't make one that's the
Right.
same size, so whatever, but, like, it's the concept,
Right.
like,
It's
this
a
guy,
Mulletron.
like, developed something that's actually revolutionary, and then someone's like, "We'll make one in red. Sell it. We'll
Yep.
call it the Huddleston 2." And you're like, "Wait, what?" And I could see why I absolutely could see why not only people who are fans of that person, who know that person, who work with that person, but
The
also
bait,
just
the
someone who's
brand.
got like morals, beliefs, a moral compass, that sort of thing, would be upset. And like I fall into the second category where I don't want it to be like drama, but at the same time, I really would rather see someone like the Battle Baits companies like of the world or Beast Coast Jigs. I would rather see them be able to get gigantic because they're just making better stuff and not have it be where like someone can just swoop in, steal it, make it cheaper because they're in a higher class of production and money, and then just make those little
Well,
guys go away.
it's the same issue that we have with Timu that we talk about on those videos. Why we
Yes.
seem so harsh on dollar baits. Everybody, I get these comments all the time on those Timu videos, and it's just because it draws a bigger audience. We're playing the YouTube game. You got to do it. But those people come into the comments and they're like, why is he being so harsh on these $1 baits? They work perfectly fine. And like our point was, these are just knockoffs of other brands who have put in the work, the time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, and money and tears into this thing. And, you know, it sucks to see it ripped off and sold for $1. And now you're praising, you know, this Chinese we just got in the mail. It's like, I get that they're cheap, and I just want to keep in mind that it kind of sucks seeing complete knockoffs, right?
They're towing the line. They're
Yeah.
towing the line there for sure.
Yeah, no, and I see you guys talking in chat about the Jacob Wheeler. That was specifically the comment thread I was talking about. I dove into that one deep, and I was in there for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, way too long. I was just reading all those, and Wheeler's coming back with a southpaw. He's like, I'm gonna take him down, and he was just fighting with people. I was like, this is out of hand. Man.
Somebody did call it. We said Temu, so I just gotta be accurate.
Don't take your finger off that. Click it again.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
You guys hear that? It's not the line, that's the reel. That's how it sounds. Anyways. Yeah, so that was interesting. You know, seeing how everybody's like acting about that stuff. I'm with you on the moral grounds. It feels icky. When you see it, just feels kind of gross when you go to the best of show, like product showcase, and it's a big glass case all around the room with all the tackle and all the lures. So we're walking down, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, seen that. So it's interesting. The other side of this too that I'll say is, how far back does that go? Because then we got comments when we did a video with Bill Siementel. And I mean, Bill's been in the industry forever. He's had his hand on so many different baits. Some of the times you can look at something, you can say that's a copy of that, but like Bill had his hand in both of them. You know what I mean? So that's kind of interesting in the longevity of the industry. I thought that was an interesting topic because people are talking about that buzzbait and they're like, oh, I mean, tunable blades have been around forever. Totally agree. Yes, they have. Have they been two in the way that this one is and more tunable like this in terms of the overall design? Maybe in different, you know, small baits. Maybe somebody's made them before. Have they like put them out there? I don't know. So I'm jury's out on that one. I'd have to see, like, you know, show me the pics. Let's prove it. Kind of like we're seeing with the Depths cover scat versus the Bomba and the Craw something from Spro. I don't remember what the other one is called. Oh, it's just called the Craw Nugget or whatever. Anyways, you get it.
Nugget.
Turd Nugget. So yeah, I mean, like these right here, the direct copy. It's I think it's a little, I don't know. Definitely a big gray area in here, but this is like not gray. This is straight up a copy, right?
There's also it does go backwards. So like someone called it out, like, hey, chatterbaits, you got small companies knocking off
for sure
the Z-Man original. I'm like, good call. It goes both ways.
Gray?
100%. No,
gray, not gray. I don't know.
Totally good, but still, I mean, that's.
But
totally,
bladed jig is then bladed jig's then a category, right? But if you have the same
Kleenex and then all the nose wiping, you know, things. So, but I agree. I mean, it's a great call. And
how old were you guys when you found out that Kleenex was a brand, not the name of
not a thing, or Windex
paper,
or any of those other things, right? So I totally fair.
Yeah.
But I'm not an advocate of it that way either. Like, it's not about big guy versus small guy, even though it hurts the small guy so much more. So that does bother me. Especially the guy who's doing stuff that's private, like someone who designs a swim bait. That's not an easy thing to do. So,
like, if you made it unique in your garage and it took extra money because you didn't have any weight to throw around in the industry, and then like you were selling them like crazy locally, and then a pro sweeps in, picks it up, shows it to Rapala, Rapala makes it, and you're just like, what? That does kind of hurt.
So Blind Eye called us out. He said, I have double blades that make a quad buzz. That was never in question. That's an old school. It's an old school thing, but a couple things. One is a lot of people have never seen those and don't know about those. 2, no one else is making those right now. They're just not out there. And then 3, there are unique parts of that bait. And that's why I actually posted this for members only. I wanted you guys to see like the full breakdown of what they did and how that bait has some really unique, that buzzbait from Fish Life has some really unique aspects, because that buzzbait, like, they engineered it so that you can make it squeak, for one thing. They also engineered it, there's a ton of contact points between metals. Like, any place they touched, they actually added more metal in between, like washers in between those buzzbaits, so that they would like make more noise. They also made it with they made it so that the way that it runs, you can run it super, super slow. Like
Mm-hmm.
we were calling this out, like you can run this on a 5 to 6 speed reel, which is nuts. Usually with a buzz
You
bait
need to
these
burn
days, you
it.
gotta like
Yeah.
haul it to make it do what it needs to do. And then they
Yeah.
did design that head like to keep it buoyant. And like all those things, like those are really small things that you don't see. You just see the double blade and you're like, I've seen that before. It's a ripoff. Like they're just making a buzz bait, okay?
Yep.
But there's a lot more that went into it. And when you hear Bill talk about it, it's just really cool. So I totally understand what you're saying. You're 100% right. That's not revolutionary, but there's a lot, there's more going on there.
Yeah, and now we're splitting hairs at that point. So it
I
falls
think
now
so.
into the gray area, I feel. Big shout out to Chris Shue for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate you supporting the show, brother. So sup nerds, fishing is going the way of music. In music, there are only so many notes and beats as lures the same. You're going to see more of this. We have seen this for years, you guys. It's not new, right?
No.
I mean, it's what the
happened many
Senko?
times before.
Do we go back to the Senko and now everybody has a stick worm and it's like
Well, Berkeley
Ned's?
made a Ned rig, and it's the
Yeah.
same exact thing as a TRD, except they just use 3 different letters. I mean,
Well, now everybody has a Ned, right? So I mean, you're talking about Rapala, the BLT.
Rapala, I apologize. Yeah, sorry.
Crush BLT.
Yeah. They gave it a
Very.
shell.
They give it a shell. It does have like a little turtle shell on it, like where
got
the
a little
hook comes out.
Blakey. He's got a little helmet on.
I preferred like the large one you found. It was like Brendan Brown was like, finally,
I like the 14 incher. That was dope.
throw a hook in that. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, South Jersey Fisherman 28 also says, the downside of the Spro scat baits is that they're more expensive with less in the package than the original depths, which is
You're more expensive than depths. Like, come on.
just so I can get a Spro. I don't think so. I don't know. It's interesting. At any rate, there's definitely, without question, copies every single year. So do we want to address the other ones that we had on our list here? Because I think we addressed the point of copying.
I think we're good. I think the one I do want to call out. There's only one that I actually want to call out, just because we're already into the show.
Okay.
Casking eye reel. So we got a lot of comments on that video, and I actually didn't get as much play as I thought it was going to. So the Casking eye reel, if you guys don't know, we showed it on here 2 weeks ago. It's a chip control. So that's like I'm gonna say DC right there. I'm gonna say it's DC reel. And then it's also got it like reads data to you about your cast, your retrieve, and all that kind of stuff. Um, so when we talked about this before, we were like, okay, seems useless. Don't really know if that data is for me, but innovation wise, it's a good idea. That was my general perception. Then someone was like, well, they're stealing that from Shimano, the DC, right? The digital chip control. And I was like, I see what you're saying. And then we used it. We talked to Casking about it. And they're like, well, yes, it is a type of DC, but we invented this one. This is ours. It is totally different than the Shimano. It's called IFC, and it's their own brand of it. But you are absolutely making a chip control. But this is like step 2. This is their version of it. Also, the TWS system in the Daiwas, which is that like T-shaped thing that manages the line as you cast. Super good idea. They made their own version of it, which I didn't even know was in there until we used the reel, and it works really well. But it's totally different. It makes like a giant oval when you have the button pressed, then you cast, so like nothing's touching the line. And then when you engage the reel, it actually turns sideways. And now it's actually getting 2 points of contact and getting a perfect guide. It's actually tighter than the circle. And I was like, that's genius. That is such a good, that's like, I think the next evolution of that system. Then I was like,
that's it.
You made
it's
your
an
own.
evolution.
It's legit.
It's an evolution, right? And like you could, people will point at Daiwa, say TWS, right? Like it's not.
Same concept.
But it is a concept built on top of that. So again, where does the gray line start? Right?
I don't know.
But let's do this. Let's hop off of that hot topic because I want to talk about what blew us away, the more fun stuff. So what did we see? We can go line by line if you want, but
sure, yeah.
Or trade thoughts on each one. But let's talk innovations / items. Innovations is just a jab back at copying. Let's just talk about things that we liked at ICast. How about that?
Yeah.
So we just started talking about this one, right? So let's talk about the iReel for a hot second. What were your thoughts on it?
The iReel, I was actually more impressed with the chip control and their line control system than I was with the data. Now the data piece of it, what I really liked about that was I'm thinking of this and it sounded like they are too. It's just step 1. And like
Yeah.
If I looked 5 years in the future and this turned into, hey, look, now my reel or my rod or some combination of that and my phone and my watch or whatever is keeping track
Mhm.
of how many fish I caught, how big they were, where I caught them, what the weather was like, all that type of stuff. And it's basically
Yeah.
a much lower cost. It maybe cost me $25 more for that feature, and they get the size down and all that. I'm not mad. I'm like, that's
Right.
dope. And maybe I only use it 10% of the time, but the pros are going to use that. If you don't think pros are not going to use that information, you're out of your mind. Every one of them will have that. And so,
Yeah.
again, this is iteration one. So when I look 10 iterations later, I'm like, this is
It's gonna be
inevitable. It's
insane.
going to happen. There's no getting around it. And even
Yeah.
if you don't want it, it's probably going to be there. So it's like, I'm not mad at it. I think it's good for them to be the first ones doing it.
Yeah, I think one thing to keep in mind with this too is, like you said, it's the first iteration. Do we need that data? Do you and I need that data? Not really.
No.
Would it be cool to see? Probably.
Sure.
The thing that changed it for me, I didn't care about like casting distance, speed, and all that, but it does track like weather data. It's tracking like if you're an old man like Paul and you want to keep notes in a notepad, like you would track the weather and like what the bite was like that day. What were you catching on, right? It's interesting to see that. Do I want that right now? Absolutely not. The
Same.
IFC and the line guide were definitely way more valuable to me
I
than
was
all the
impressed.
data stuff. I don't want the sunglasses. I don't want the Apple Watch app thing or whatever. I don't want
No,
any of
none
this.
of it. The sunglasses, I mean,
Yeah,
just good on
the
them for
ecosystem, right? But it is
someone was gonna
cool.
do it.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that they did it, and we used to always talk about Cast King until this week as like, yeah, we're just making cheap products.
yeah,
Like we're making them in the same factory as the Shimano and Daiwa, but we're just gonna make it cheaper and we'll sell it on AliExpress. What I've seen the last
yeah,
year and a half is that they are doing their own innovation, and it's kind of impressive. Like we saw the
yeah,
ultralight rod, super ultralight rod. I don't really see anybody really doing that except for like JDM that makes its way here. It's hard to find. They're
yeah.
doing it at like the big level, and I was like, dude, that's bold, man. That takes some nuts. Whether or
It,
not you like it, is they're going further than a
yeah.
lot of our other brands.
The funny thing is, we made fun of it on the precast show, and then we
Yeah,
got there, and I was
I
like,
was
"Oh, okay,
surprised.
yeah." I mean, we
Someone did,
we reserve the right for our final opinion, so every opinion's not a final opinion. You
and
can always
I
change
may
my
change
mind.
my mind when
Exactly.
iteration 2 is worse than iteration 1.
Yeah.
Somebody, I think it was Hunter Fisher, who good to see you, brother, and good to meet you at the finally live
Yeah.
at the show. He goes, I don't want anyone having my fishing data so they can steal my spots and techniques. I'm like, all right, hey, if that actually happened, I wouldn't be thrilled, but I don't know who's looking for Paul Glass in the middle of like 3 ponds in Michigan. So if you really want to, find out that I use a lot of spinner baits, like, okay, cool, it's all you, brother. Like, like,
Green
I don't know,
pumpkin
man.
Senkos
I'm not that
only.
good. But I get it. I actually do
Best
get
of
that. Like
luck.
if you don't want your dad out there, 10,000%.
Sure. I mean, the what my favorite comment on things like the iReel, is being my last thought on this, is
Yeah.
that people are like, "Oh, I don't want all this technology invading my thing," right? And like, come on, guys, it's 2023. Technology's not going
Well, you
away.
don't have to buy it.
Yeah, and you don't
Like
have to
you
do
don't have
it,
to
but
buy
like,
it. That's fine. That doesn't change the.
yeah,
I don't know.
it like if somebody wants to be all teched out, let them be all teched out, man. What that's like our motto on this show now is like, fish the way you want to fish, fish the way that you're happy, that you feel good about it, and let's move on from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the iReel definitely pretty cool. I also like the new Kestrel Elites from them. I wanted to throw that out.
I was really the
The Elite
rods or
rods,
okay.
the rods. So we're jumping into BFS now because I mean the Hunter Fisher's here. Like we got to talk about
Yeah, we should
BFS.
we should. So talking about BFS, Jeff mentioned it. You guys can go see it on Instagram. Post a short video, and you'll see it in the BFS video we're gonna drop in like a
Mhm.
week. There was a super ultralight, but it's a line. There was super ultralight, ultralight light, and then like a just under medium light, like light plus, spinning setup and bait casting setups, and I was blown away. So America Tackle Company, the one we were talking about earlier, that makes custom stuff. They did the
Yep.
reel seat. It looks amazing, nice and short, compact. It's got an IM8 carbon blank. So if you're familiar with Lose, a lot of their like mid tier is that IM8.
Mhm.
It's not the best, but it's actually pretty nice. And for the price point, all that at $90, um, I was very impressed. They look really nice. We're probably gonna get a hold of some, which is dope. But I was even at the fact that they were making a super
Yeah.
ultralight and a whole line of spinning and bait casting reels that are super light, ultralight. I was like,
I mean, a
dude,
BFS
at
rod that could
90
allow
bucks.
if it could let us cast a 164 ounce jig, like
164 ounces is the bottom of the weight there. That's
that's
lower than almost anyone that's
I mean, pretty
advertising.
much every single one, man. Like, unless it's JDM, like maybe
Hmm.
it's
So
insane.
again,
So
I
that
mean,
was
I'm not a
cool.
Cast King fanboy, but I was just impressed with those releases.
This year, Casking impressed us. We've
I think so.
never been impressed by Casking. I told that to Jose. What's his name?
I
Jose,
did
his
too.
face. What is his handle? Bayou Bougie, I think it
Yeah.
is. Bayou Bougie. Yeah, that guy
No,
was awesome. By
Bait
the
and
way,
Bougie.
Bait and Bougie. Thank you. But like,
Super nice guy, so knowledgeable, great on
I
camera.
told him I was like, I've never been impressed by a single one of your products. Like, and this one, it's pretty neat, man.
I
The
know, good for
Assegai
him.
rods,
They're not terrible. I think they're right at that,
and the
the
Kestrels. Yeah,
baseline of value, right? I think they hit the value.
yeah,
Not the best, not the worst. Nice
right.
stuff.
Chaz,
Can we talk about ARC?
Why are you pointing at your can? What are you doing?
Chaz,
Oh, you just took it. So Chaz is drinking a alcoholic monster. They're called
oh,
Beast.
it gives me had a heart attack just thinking about it.
I'm dying right now. All right. So, anyways, let's keep going on BFS. So,
Can we talk about ARC? I
We
think
were
let's just
extremely
talk about
impressed
ARC
with.
in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
There's more to it than just the
There's
first thing,
another
but
so a couple things. I've said on this channel, like I've asked you guys on Instagram and here, like, should I go
Mhm.
buy an arc reel? Because I've been interested in the gravity system that they have, which is their mag braking system. I was
Yep.
like, I'm really interested. I just don't get it, and I don't trust them. I don't. And we met the owner of the company. I got to chit chat with him.
Mhm.
He did a video. You'll see him speaking on the video of their BFS reel that they dropped with the gravity system for $150. Now, the only drawback on the $150, the only one, it's a graphite frame, not an aluminum frame. So
But you're
but
going
that's
ultra light. So
it's
I mean,
ultralight. It's pretty
let's
common, but that's also you're not going to
yeah,
get a twist. You're not going to get line. You're not going to get twist in the reel as much because you're really relying on your rod and your drag way more than
right.
the power of the reel. So it's not nearly as important. But at 160 bucks, it has
159, I think it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
160 bucks. It has that gravity system, which we learned a lot about. I did a video
it's
on it.
insane.
You'll see more on it later. And I say I got to get. There's 3 reels I have to get from them. I have to get the 7.
Calm
This other one
down.
we're going to talk about in a second, and the BFS reel, because
Yeah,
I'm really impressed with one, the
same.
attention to detail, the quality, and the ingenuity out of everything we saw at ARC. It was, but I've always loved their baits, but this was like hands down amazing.
For clarity, we're talking about the gravity brake system that they use. So the gravity brake system they
I'll show you.
use is like a custom braking and spool setup. And how are you gonna? You
So
have one? Oh,
no,
you're
but
just
when you
yeah.
well, just keep going. I'll
Okay.
bust this one open and
So
then
Paul will open up a braking system on his Akuma Hakai here, and he'll try to tell you what that is. Tell you what, do
trying
better.
to find one
Just look up
that's
a picture, you guys. It's a gravity braking system from ARC. Just look at a picture. That's the best way I can describe it to you.
well, I have the video, so you can watch our
The
video.
settings, instead of having like in a Shimano, you flip the tabs. In a normal mag setup, you just twist the knob, right? Like there's
So
there you go.
so they have the external adjustment, just like this
Right,
one,
right.
right? And then you
And
open the
then
thing up. Hold on. And when you open up, this is what you see in the spool. It's just the
right,
side of the spool. That's just what the spool looks like. Then you have your magnets. It still has the magnets here. However, they're actually tucked in and turned, which is unique. And then you notice there's like another circle attached to the side here.
yep,
And what it is it's a plate. And that plate is what's reacting to the magnets. And
yep.
so it's an ultralight BFS spool like this one. And then that plate, there's 3 settings and they go closer or further from the magnets. And so what you end up with is each one of these, like there's 10 adjustments here. There's 3 different settings for these. So instead of 10 adjustments, you get 30 adjustments as you go further and closer to the spool. Those magnets get
It's
further close to the spool. It's unreal. Such a good idea. And it was so well done. Just super impressed.
It was really cool. So the new BFS reel from ARC, definitely an absolute banger. Their
Looked amazing. Oh
gravity
my
series
god.
was solid. The gravity sevens were
Spool.
amazing. There was an $85 reel. You want to
Oh
talk to
yeah,
that
that's
one?
right. So they have the
Yeah,
Gravity 3 that they just dropped. I have to get one.
it's
It's $85. So it's way under 100. Well, I say way,
mhm,
but under $100.
yep.
Aluminum frame? Pretty sure it's aluminum frame. Was it? Oh,
I
I
think
can't remember.
I can't remember. I
I
wouldn't quote
can't
you on
remember. I
that.
don't want to sign up for that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was aluminum frame. I'm like 99% sure it was. It
Yep.
was so well designed. It's just the fact that they got that much quality into under $100 is astonishing. It's astonishing what they did. It's so nice. It's
Yeah.
smoother than their Gravity 5, the current Gravity 5.
Oh yeah, just out of the box. Like we were messing around with all of them on the table. So
Yeah,
you know,
see,
to
I
build,
said it. Elizabeth C says the Gravity 3 has an aluminum frame. She paid 130. This new Gravity 3, $90.
gonna be
What?
insane. So just to stack on top of that, South Jersey Fisherman asks, "What's the best reel that you saw at ICast?" I'll throw this out there. We didn't get much time with reels. We wish we had. We spent a lot of time on a whole bunch of other
Spinning or
stuff.
bait casting, though?
Well, are you gonna say Stratic for spinning?
Because that Stratic,
Stratic's
at the price
insane.
point, it is insane. It is well deserved of an award, even though they stole it with money. I'm positive.
Vanford
It,
perks.
it's
On
got like
a
all the,
Stratic
it's
or
got a lot
Stratic
of the
price.
Vanford technology
Yeah,
and like benefits all into the Stratic frame, aluminum
real deal.
frame for $130. Like you really, I don't know
Yeah,
if you're gonna ever be, or it's $200. I don't know if you're ever gonna be able to beat that.
it's like
It's so
220 though,
nice.
but yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's solid. What about
Jesus.
Baitcaster?
Well, before we get spinning, I also want to mention so the new ISX,
Mm-hmm.
that's the ITX and ISX from Akuma. So they have the JDM version, and then they have the aluminum one that's coming out for $100.
It's
That
gonna be
might be
really hard
it. And the
to beat that value.
redesigned Samar, it was like mind melting. That's why I wanted to release that video. I can't express like how good of a how much value they're driving into their reels. Like
Yep.
they get ignored way too much. They do not get enough play. That ITX is super nice at $100, and then
Yep.
the JDM ISX was sweet. So honestly, it might be the ITX 2000 size, honestly. But
Yep.
the arc at $85, the Gravity 3 was extremely impressive, and the
Baitcaster.
BFS was
Yeah.
extremely impressive. It's going to be one of those throw a dart. I don't know if you can make me pick.
I feel like I'm most excited for the BFS. Like it
Because you're going to
just
get one.
it's up our alley. I'm definitely getting it. Like
Yeah.
as soon as that's available,
And I'm getting the 7 and the 3.
got it. It's cool. I don't need any more bait.
Oh,
You build your wall of bait casters behind you. That'd be a cool setup.
334 Get Fishing says, how about the St. Croix reel? We're going to get to that at the
Oh,
end of the
the
show.
second half
Don't
of our
go
show.
anywhere.
The second half of our show today is called "We're Not Impressed." Anyways, back to the impression stuff. Here, what were we impressed about? I'll jump to this next one. Was not it for me, and then became it for me. Inflatable kayaks. Now, I was completely out, not even interested whatsoever until we talked to our guy over at Wilderness Systems, and we got a rundown. And then we saw the Osprey with one of Jeff Little's kayaks. Right, so we went over to the Torpedo booth. He gave us a walkthrough and all this stuff. He also had that all blacked out Death Star Jackson Nar, which was pretty cool, but probably is going to melt immediately in the sunlight. And I would not want to be on a black vessel, so I don't know whose idea that was, but it's cool as heck looking.
It was dope looking.
But inflatable kayaks are doing some crazy stuff now, you guys. I'm not saying this is brand new or is insanely innovative, but it certainly isn't anything I've seen. But even the Go Boat had these. The Wilderness Systems iAttack has little mounting plates, I guess I would call them, all over the thing. So you can take like a Yak Attack, you can take a Scotty mount attachment to it, and you can mount anything. Like your rod holders.
It's not as flexible. You're not going to get the rails at this point, but it's there.
But you can, because on the Osprey that Jeff Little had that you'll see in the Friday video, they ran rails up the whole dang thing. And like even the foldable kayaks from Oru, like they had rails on those now. So these like non-typical, non-big piece of plastic kayaks are now getting all the accessibility, and they're reinforcing underneath. The hull is now reinforced. They have keel guards on them. They have skegs and rudders. And I'm just like, okay, inflatable kayaks is definitely changing for me, especially hearing what these guys put these things through and how they don't get holes in them.
I'm going to do a couple things.
Yeah.
We're going to get one. Like, it's going to
somehow
by
if
hook or by
someone would
crook.
ever send us
And I'm going to tell I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because everyone's like, oh, hook will penetrate that. I am going to inflate it. I'm going to put it on the water. I'm going to stab it with hooks. I'm going to do it a dozen times, and then I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to stab a hole in it on the river, and I will do a patch on it. Would anyone watch that video?
I'd watch it, especially if you sink and drown.
100%. I'm doing it. So we got to do it. And Lost in Tackle, I did not get a new drive, but we do have a line on a fix, which is huge. So that bass fishing dude, he graciously Said that I would be able to work with Mariner Sales, the dealer he works with, and to be able to hook us up. So
Did you follow
a couple weeks. No, I will. I'm giving him some time. He's on a show tonight with Rudd, I think.
Yep.
Maybe tomorrow. Yeah.
Rad. So yeah, hopefully we can get that fixed. And then maybe, hey, just maybe we'll get some other kayaks that we can mess around with.
Possible.
But the inflatable test would definitely be cool. Wilderness Systems guys talked to us about that. Jeff Little talked about how he has a playlist on his channel. The Little Stuff, I think it's called. He calls it out.
Everyone needs to go follow him. He is he's the
it's in the video I left it in.
He is the kayak fishiest person
Son
ever.
of a gun.
That dude looks like a river otter that wears a hat. He's so cool
I
and
saw
just
him
so nice.
swim. He was flipping
he didn't care
in the pond with the gators.
Couldn't have cared less. He was so happy.
So definitely inflatables I've come around to. I think they're pretty cool. You guys should check out the ones coming out. And they're not insanely expensive. They're kind
of insanely cheap. They're like a lot cheaper.
Range.
The value that you get from them, I think, is way higher than what you think.
The eye attack is $1,300, I think.
Yeah.
The Go Boat with a motor is $1,200. I don't think.
Come on, dude. It's insane.
Yeah, so that was pretty rad. Let's talk about the e-pedal. That was the first thing we did, you guys. We got to the on the water day. We ran to Old Town, already had a line, and
what are your thoughts on the e-pedal?
Just get this video out. My thoughts are, and I think I said it in the video, you and I talked about it a bunch. Other than the price point, if it wasn't for the price point, I would be all in.
It's $6,000 for a boat that right now with a pedal drive costs like 35 or something like that. I need to look it up.
Pedal kayaks are expensive, but as soon as you add any electronic parts to it, they get insanely expensive. This one is pre-wired, comes with a battery. It's a 36-volt battery. Like, it's not an easy battery to get, and it's definitely not a cheap battery, and you have to use their specific battery. The pedal system is not retrofit, so you can't put it into any other boats. It's rigged.
They did that on purpose.
This one, obviously. I'm all in other than the price point because it was very comfortable. I was kind of picturing, because they're clean boats when you get to the on the water day. So I'm trying to picture like how I would set up my accessories, where the crate would go, where the rod holders would go. What? You just stiff-armed me. What do you want?
I'm doing it on purpose. I'm interjecting. Okay.
Interject, sir, like Bambooey Bear injection.
6,000 for the redesigned Big Water, which is their larger 13-foot offering with the e-pedal. Now, the e-pedal, for those who don't know, it's 5 speeds. 1 through 3 are a true pedal assist, like an e-bike. You're just pedaling, and it's really making it a lot easier. 4 and 5 are like, whoa, I don't even have to pedal in a current. It's really helping you out. The battery life is going to be very solid. They're working with a very reputable company. It's
going to last forever.
It's very quality. It's all built in, ready to go. But it's $6,000, and there's an autopilot. You can click a button on any of those settings, and it'll just go at that setting, which I think is very smart. They did that. Now you're still steering with the rudder in the rear. I think that's important if you're not a kayak angler. That is limiting. It's very limiting.
It does have a decent turn radius as compared to other ones. Like when I was on the P127, it's much tighter. And you said this about the Old Towns you've been in before. It's a decent turn radius for that. But yeah,
it's not bad.
Right. Like, exactly. It's still gonna be an issue at times.
Now here's that kayak also weighs like 150 pounds. Now here's the deal. That's $6,000. Okay. Guess what a PDL Big Water, the current Big Water with a regular pedal drive costs? 3,300. Almost half, basically half. Are you getting the ePDL or are you getting the Big Water? I'm buying the Big Water.
Yeah, I think it's outside of our need, the e-pedal. Again, I'm all in on, I love that boat and the innovation and the idea behind it. I think it's really cool. I think the price point's not there for us personally. No. I love their other pedal kayaks. I'd still definitely want to get in an Old Town, like, and use it fishing with all the gear.
If they
do it up.
If they had that price point is honestly, it's starting to worry me more and more. I really feel like they're like, I'm worried.
How much that the Hobie? 65.
I don't know if are those comparable. Yeah, I guess they are.
It's a pedal kayak. It's not the same type of pedal drive.
Yeah,
but
it's hard.
The Hobie doesn't have a motor.
You're fair.
Right?
Fair enough.
So,
doesn't come with the battery alone. If you wanted that quality, that type of battery with that voltage, would be basically $1,000, $800.
Yep.
So I do get that, But and it is one of the best boats out there. But like that price point is to me insane. Everyone else was releasing quality at value. They're really
Mhm.
the Titan X is a value
I think the
price.
industry is gonna split, but
They're
this is like
splitting,
any
man.
other industry, man. This
They
is the
got the
bike
Minn
industry,
Kota though. They got the Minn Kota already.
right?
How would you not spend say $1,500, get a
Yeah,
bigger with the trolling motor with spot lock?
yeah. I
Well, I mean,
mean,
you can't pedal. You can't pedal. So there's that.
I still think that there is an audience for it, and there always will be. Like they're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm not
sell
saying
it.
it won't sell.
Will it be their most popular kayak? Probably
This
not. But like,
my
yeah,
prediction, I love Old Town. I do.
mhm.
I probably always will. This is going to be a
Oh,
bust for
sure.
them. I think they'll look back on this and be like, we didn't do it well enough or execute this
Mhm.
well enough for it to sell. And there are too many good alternatives for cheaper. Like Torpedo is too good
Right.
of an
Well,
option for cheaper that this
3K.
will get overshadowed, even though it's a really good accomplishment. Technology wise, this thing is
Yeah.
instant, seamless. It was executed well. There's just too many cheaper options that will move you away from it.
So price comparison: Torquitos, $28.99 for the, I think it's the 1103, which they're
The
gonna
big boys.
phase out. They're gonna phase out the smaller one, but the 1103 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's $28.99.
Yeah.
You can buy it comes with a battery.
Yeah, no, it's
So
the whole system
the whole
minus the
system.
pedals. You gotta buy the pedals
You
separate
gotta do the
and
work.
the guard separate, and you gotta do
Yeah.
the work.
I think it's Innovation Systems or something like that. It's mentioned in the video for Friday,
Yep.
but
Yep.
yeah, the pedals, all of that. So you do have some extras. So let's call it
1,500.
3,500
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
plus a paddle kayak. You want it in a paddle kayak, not
Mhm.
a pedal. You
But those
can't
are much
do that.
cheaper.
But a paddle kayak's cheaper.
1,500
So
bucks, you get a solid
get a Crescent
solid
Light. Like
options for 1,500 bucks.
we were in the Crescent Light. I felt great, felt stable. I was taking full speed turns, no problem.
Oh,
Like,
that was a riverboat dream.
yep. So you could get away with a lot. I mean,
So the
I
Crescent
hear you guys. I hear
so
you. I still
the
like
light
it.
tackle, guess how much the light tackle is?
The
Well, the light
light.
tackle 2.
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
What?
the LT, the light
Oh,
tackle
the
2 from
Crescent?
Crescent.
The
Yeah,
Crescent? How much is it?
guess.
It's a paddle?
Paddle.
Nine something. 989.
$1,100.
That's so close.
So for $2,000 less, you get the Torpedo
Yeah.
in a wide open system.
I think, you're already seeing a lot of
Jeez,
motors on
man.
kayaks. You're gonna see
The
a lot
bona
more.
fide skiff, Hunter Fisher. That was my next call out. That's like 1,300 bucks, and that is a
And you throw
really
an
nicely
outboard
designed
on
boat.
it.
It's a
Like you
nicely designed
Yeah.
boat, but I don't like the low hull. That's just me. I don't like it. But like I would totally run one. You can
Yes.
put that Torpedo on a bona fide RVR 117, and it's still 1,500, maybe $2,000 savings compared
Yeah.
to $6,000.
Which
Like
we
with a
saw it
fully
on.
mounted
Yep.
Torpedo. Like I don't know, man.
It's a fair point. I still think the audience will be served, as
Yeah,
always.
somebody will.
I
Somebody
don't know if
will.
it's gonna be a banger or a bust for them. I'm
I
not
think it'll
gonna
be a bust. I think in 2
presume.
years, they'll be like, dang.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one. So the next one is pretty interesting. Speaking of pedal kayaks that aren't $6,000, the Titan X from Native. We had a lot of requests for us to go check this one out, and they had it about as decked out as a kayak can be. It had 2 power poles. It had it had the Torpedo, or no, the Newport. It had the Newport on it, right? So there's Newport was all over the place at ICast as well. They're making a motor for kayaks also, and batteries for that system and all that stuff, right? So the Newport was on there. They also had a front-mounted motor guide. Then they had batteries
Dual
throughout.
screen, beautiful light system. It
Dude,
was fully rigged out. Now,
on Friday, you guys will see the full one.
you'll see it. So the 12, they make it a 12.5 and a 10.5.
Mhm.
I got it up right here. They don't have the fully rigged weight, but it's probably going to be 125 pounds, 135
At
pounds,
least.
somewhere in there. Heavier, but not
It's a big
massive.
haul.
Now, the beam, 14.5 at the depth, 40 inches wide. So that's classic Titan. It's a wide boat, 2 inches wider than the Hobie 360, which is one of the wider boats out there. The
Yeah.
Titan 10.5 is 38 inches. Again, super wide.
Mhm.
So 360 swivel seat, moves back and forth, has a
Mhm.
really, really cool mounting options in the rear for motor, and a really
Yep.
cool, they always have they do a nice job with having a track system that accommodates a lot of different things. The battery box I thought was dope.
Yeah,
Dope. I
it
love the
snaps
battery
shut.
box.
It's not a flimsy one.
No, it's
It's under the
legit.
seat. It's out of the way. And I will
Yes.
also, I want to throw this out because you mentioned
Yeah.
the swivel seat.
Yeah.
I saw Rudd mention in the
Yep.
comments on one
I
of our
responded.
videos. Dude, swivel seats need to be like
10
in
out of 10.
every kayak.
25 out of
They
10.
are So
Yep.
comfortable,
They're great.
so versatile. You could
Yep.
swivel around. I imagine if I had that on the Hobie, I'd be
These
like
ones don't lock,
efficient every
though.
way.
These ones do not lock. Most of them lock
Mhm.
one direction, two directions. These ones do not. That's
The
good and
native,
bad. Yeah,
it
the
locks
native.
forward.
Which one didn't?
The native locks forward.
Oh,
The
was it the wilderness systems that didn't?
No, that locked too. I don't know what you're talking about.
One of them doesn't lock. I thought it was the native.
So the Wilderness Systems Recon was also awesome. Everybody yells at us for never reviewing Wilderness Systems. What? What's wrong with my camera,
Just
Charles?
having camera issues. He's gonna turn it off and on, but he can still talk, so it doesn't matter.
I'm possessed? Oh my gosh. Who am I possessed by, Rob? What's happening?
Or fix it. But yeah, so for me, my overall, I know we gotta get
Am I
moving, but
here?
my overall on the Titan X,
Okay.
I think the Titan X is like tied or not a runaway number one for me release from a kayak perspective.
Mhm.
It's really close. I do
Yep,
like the e-pedal. I like actually the redesign of the big water was dope.
it
Um,
was.
but I think the Titan X, it's still not as refined as I want, and I probably will never get that from Native. It's just not how they do their design. There's a couple things I didn't like, but this is a massive step forward. I would run one of these if I was like a motor dude. If I was like, I have to have a motor,
This would be
this
the
would be
motor
my
boat.
like fully
I
outfitted
agree.
motor me up. This would be the pick. It's a big old boat, and that thing
'Cause I
will
don't pedal
cruise.
it
Big
around.
water beast.
I don't wanna pedal it. I would just motor it.
It's
It
sick.
is it's really cool. For a
Well
12.5 boat,
done.
it's really cool. They do have the rod
Yes.
holders in hull too, which is neat because that's one of my favorite things on the Hobie.
Oh, and
But alright,
their electronics
yeah.
through hull system was
The lighting
phenomenal.
system,
They
you guys
went big on it.
wait till you see the video on
Yeah,
Friday. The
yeah,
lighting system they
so
use
dope.
has Bluetooth. It's
Well,
freaking
hold on,
insane.
but that's
Like,
third party, so you can get that for any boat. But the way they
yeah,
have the electronics rigged, they have like this
mhm.
huge port, and there's three of them, and you run like giant
It's
wiring
the
kits all through one
Easy
area, and it was really well done. I
it's
like
called
that a
like the
lot.
Easy Connect or something.
It
Anyways,
was legit.
yes,
It was
super
legit.
neat. Makes wiring simple, right? So
Yeah.
let's turn and burn through the rest of these.
Yeah.
So lots more accessible electric motors coming for kayaks. I'm interested
Sure.
to see some new brands
I
on
wanted.
the
I'm sad
market.
we didn't try out the alternate to Torpedo.
The Newport, yeah, we there was a Newport there. It was
That's it.
available.
That
Didn't
was a
get to try
miss.
that out. Did do the Torpedo and also tried the Bixby. Honestly, Torpedo only like was
I
yeah,
get, but I understand Bixby. There's a place for
very
it, a
portable.
really good place for it.
Yes.
Respect. But for
Mhm.
me, it's Torpedo just because it brings so much. And honestly,
You
Jeff
grab
Little sold me. Jeff Little sold me. Like I know that guy,
Oh, for sure.
like if he's good with it, that guy put. I guarantee you, no one puts as much time on the water with their product as him.
Yep.
Nobody. Like not a single person.
Yep.
Period.
No, it was really cool to meet him and he let us try his kayak and all that stuff. All right, so Yak Attack came out with a couple of things that we think are really interesting. Probably the biggest one for me is that forward-facing mount that they have. I forget what they call it, but it's in the video, and it is just the side stick that we're using right now, which is from Fishing Specialties.
Yeah.
So we have a forward-facing stick. It holds the Panoptic sonar, right? And you just swivel it by hand. This one has like a directional mount on it. It's super smooth, fully adjustable in every way you could think of. I thought that was neat. They also have a new board holder for your tournament boards, your catch board, etc. And they're making their own board, which is actually really sick. And that is the aforementioned demo model that they had that the guy broke. It was Wade. Yeah,
Can I be
snapped
honest
it.
about that one?
Yeah, the board
One,
or
it's
which one?
the board.
Okay.
The bump board is better. It's well designed. It's cool as heck.
Mhm.
It not fitting in a lot of the custom kayak mounts is a big miss for me.
Like the Crescent Shoaly, the Bonafide, where we have the inserts that's designed to fit a normal width board. What Paul's saying is this board is actually designed wider, so it is going to have to be stored.
Taller.
Sure, however you
Width would
stand
be like
up.
to me the length, but it's
Oh, okay.
26 like all the other ones, but it's
Yeah.
taller, and so it won't fit in those
The
molds.
cradle is bigger, right? I'm not
Yeah.
talking the length of the thing. It's the same length as any other tournament
Yeah.
board, but the cradle is a little bit bigger for bigger fish. I get it. You're gonna have to get this custom Yak Attack mount, which it's Yak Attack. It's gonna be $30, $40, but you can just pop that on the side of your boat, out of the way, out of the
Get it.
boat. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't hate
but
it.
then you also can't mount your a lot of stuff there.
Sure,
That's
if you
the
have your
last
pan,
pace I'm
I
putting
mean,
aboard, to be honest with you.
they
The
had the
last place.
Panoptics out at the same time. It doesn't come out from the boat that bad. I'm less
Paddle,
out on this than you are.
net, so much other stuff.
I'm in
Like,
on it
I'm
still.
out.
I'm in on it
I'm
still. I
out.
think it's cool. Yeah, and I don't know. They got a lot of cool stuff. The
No,
forward-facing
I
mount
agree.
for me is definitely the better one.
Oh, but that
Uh,
was so yeah, the way they had that thing rigged was
it
really nice. I
came
liked
up
it.
out of the water and it snaps into place on the side of your boat, you guys. So it's
Well, before we
completely
move
up.
on from kayaks, I want to hit really quick. I want to hit. What did you think about the skiff? Bonafide skiff,
Oh, the Bonafide
SKF. So
skiff was
it's a half paddleboard, half
yeah.
kayak. Really inexpensive, well designed. Has the basic features.
Mhm.
Draft is like 0, and it's built to have a motor on the back. $1,300.
If I put a motor on that, I'd be so stoked. Like I've
Same.
always been interested in skiffs. Like anytime I see them, I liked obviously Boat, right? BOT,
100%.
that brand. They have a ton
Yeah.
of really cool skiffs that they put outboards on. Yeah, I mean they got like 9.9s, 13 horsepowers on those things. Like
Yep.
freaking cool. I would
Yep.
love to have that. And I would totally put my Yeti Tundra 35 on it or whatever
yeah.
he said. But I
Yeah.
mean, in general, comfy seat, comfy ride. I'd
So,
be in all over it.
what did you think about the eye attack? And really, what did you think of Wilderness Systems?
I was impressed by Wilderness Systems. The problem I always have is, again, people don't like to have mature conversations in chat. So people come in, not in chat, not you chat, comments. Sorry, comments are worse. But in the comment thread, they'll come in and be like, no Wilderness Systems. This isn't a kayak review. And I'll be like, what? We didn't have any. So, we are always going to get something about that because I don't have a fleet. We do not have an armada.
But it's fair
We,
that like
we do what we
Pelican
can.
Wilderness Systems is a miss. We need to do more of the
Nobody
value
has
based.
them around us. Like so Pelican, yes.
Well,
Wilderness
Dick's
Systems,
Sporting
no.
Goods does. They exist.
They have the Recon at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah,
Prove it.
they have. Well, they have at
They have
least
Pelican.
half of their stuff. They carry Pelican. They
Yeah.
carry Lifetime. They carry
Yeah.
a ton of that stuff.
I know
I
that.
don't think they have the eye attack, but they have proud of me everything else, and they have their brand.
Yeah.
Field and Stream.
Can I tell you the honest reason why?
Yeah.
I don't want to buy that kayak.
I know,
dude.
and I'm
And
not
Dick's Sporting
disagreeing
Goods
with you,
doesn't do
but
demo.
it's a fair gripe. It's a fair gripe because
comments.
after getting in, I think after getting into that Wilderness Systems,
Yeah.
those two boats, and then seeing the one that they make for $900, I was like, we need to do more here, and I really do think that that's a miss on our part. If we just don't have a way to do it, so it is what it is. But I agree, I think we should do more of it, even in my own opinion.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Anyways, so I think the Wilderness Systems impressed me. I like the Recon 120. The overbuilt edition is like $3,500, you guys, and it has an interesting pedal drive that you like eject if you're coming up on something. So that was interesting. Not sure how much I like this big post being in my way now, but yeah. Overall, I thought the boat was cool, and then the eye attack is definitely something I could see getting into actually using as a hard seat
100%.
in it instead of an inflatable seat. It's a hard seat that snaps in there, and if you flip it down, it's actually got like a higher seated position. Or if you're Paul, you could stand on it. The guy basically told me I'm not allowed to stand.
You're too big, Jeff. You'll fall over. But love that for a riverboat. Loved it for a riverboat.
Chad is saying everybody's doing a live tonight, so bummer. So if you're hanging out with us tonight, you're the real nerds. Everybody else, they want to go watch those other channels. Okay, you guys hang out with us. The next one is so interesting, and it's gonna come up, you guys, because I messaged this company. I take back my intro. This company responded and said, "Yes, I would love to send you these things."
They sure did.
So we're talking about Bamboo Bear, and they're gonna send us their scent injectors. It's a giant syringe filled with neon liquids that you inject into your plastics. He's gonna send me the video too, so we can.
I told him to do this. So I emailed him. I
said,
"Okay,
you did."
I emailed him, and I
messaged him.
Best logo in the game. It's a very ecstasy looking. The bear is in ecstasy, holding up two giant bass. It's amazing.
You guys have seen Cocaine Bear. If Cocaine Bear went fishing with its bear paws,
exactly. And they make so they made a really nice tungsten weight that has like a heavy duty tuna swivel on it, and it's made for grass shotting. So if you've ever bought regular tungsten weights, the tops bend over when you use them, and they're all crooked and stuff. So great idea. And then he makes metal Nico / Wacky rings with
Yeah,
2 different sizes, a hook to hold the barb. I thought that was a great idea. I don't think it's perfect. You're going to rip some plastics just because it's
for
so
sure.
heavy duty, but I still think it's a great idea. I
Yeah.
love the ingenuity. And the guy's selling value, and he was one of the coolest people. And they had the scent injectors. When you see the video we show you of how he's showing the scent dispersion, it sells itself. It's really cool. I'm never going to use it. I'm not that guy, but I loved it. I was
You
like,
are going to use it
maybe.
because
Well, no, I
we're
will
going to
use
get
it,
them.
but I'm not. I'm just never been. Maybe it's so good I'll be that, but I've never been that guy. But if you're a scent dude,
Yeah,
this is the mecca. You could. This is the mecca. So I can't. We can't wait to show it to you guys. The guy was
hard,
so nice. I'm
hard
just
agree.
awesome people.
Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting thing. It's going to make for a real fun clickbaity video for everybody.
It'll be great. I'm gonna stab Jeff
Injecting my
right in the
veins.
thigh with power bait.
I almost injected you on the video.
It was way too close.
So then we already talked about American Tackle Company. Again, shout outs to our boy Don over there. Really cool 1 ounce carbon rod handle. Let's talk Z-Man for a quick sec. So I think the Evo chatterbait is first of all, I heard it behind the scenes on this, but the Z-Man Evo chatterbait is definitely a legit option. Here's the deal. What I'm hearing is that their evergreen contract is coming up. So they're gonna lose the jackhammer. Because what are you doing?
I'm testing with I hate this time of the night, like when the sun goes
Transition of night, when the full moon rises and Paul comes out of his shell. So, anyways, like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. The Evo chatterbait is only $9.99. So if Evergreen's ditching Z-Man, right? Like, let's say that contract's up, jackhammers are gone. Good news for me, I get to save $5 per cast-off chatterbait. But at $9.99, it's got like the same jig head design. It's got the molded bait keeper plus the wire bait keeper. It's got a hand-tied skirt. Like, this thing it's legit. Huge win. I know it's not like the
sparkly.
It's not like a super exciting thing, but to me, it's really cool. And yeah, if they are all sparkle blades, though, I will completely retract my statement and shed hate upon them. But there were a few blades that were not sparkly. But when we were at the new product showcase, there's a lot of sparkle blades.
Yep.
It's like, gosh dang it. But I guess it's fine. Whatever. The 4-inch Hellraiser, I'm really excited about. I'm getting it in every color. The 4-inch.
Agreed. Dope.
Is gonna be the bomb.
Yep.
Also, they redesigned the wire at the back. People were saying that wire would break after several fish. I haven't had this happen to mine yet.
Z-Man hopped on and was like,
Z-Man?
no.
Z-Man came into the comment thread on our video and they talked.
They'll never talk to us, but good for them for the comment.
They're like, who are these guys? I don't care. The wire's fixed. You're welcome. Bye.
Wire's dope.
Okay.
Bye. Never see you
Keep talking
again.
about us, but don't ever talk to me. Okay, bye. The Z-Man rod. You put it under.
I added the Z-Man rod. So here's the thing. The Z-Man rod, $190 for a
Ned specific.
hyper Ned specific, 5'6". I think it'd make a 6-foot Ned rig only rod. And it's like an ice fishing rod, so it has no reel seat, just blank cork. I'm very interested by it. I enjoyed the concept. You know it's gonna do what you want it to do. I'm not gonna buy one. I don't think. If they bargain bin, I'll go get one for sure just to mess with it. But I have no interest. But I was intrigued, and I don't hate the idea. Good for Z-Man. That's all. That's my thought.
If only Z-Man cared about us, they'd send us one.
Never. They don't even. Do these guys even Ned rig?
We're the nerds, bro.
We're the nerds, bro. Okay, Torquedo.
I mean, we talked about it. Torquedo is it's not new, but they are constantly improving it. It's an ultralight motor that you can throw onto your kayak. It's not ultralight. It's a lightish motor that you can put on there, which is pretty neat. Comes with batteries. System looks really cool. Throttle is intuitive. Really fun to work with. We took Jeff Littles out for a bunch of rips. Had a real good time. I want one. I want a paddle kayak that I can put that on. It's really cool. Like you can pull it up. If you're going into like a paddle section, and Jeff Little was telling us he ran one for like 42 miles, I think 42
Up
miles.
river.
Insane. And he didn't run out of battery. So really cool. I'm all on board. You're throwing down Busby now. Which one? The bin, the
new
hive
release that they could see if they wanted to right now.
Yeah. So video came up tonight. The Busby Hive. Think about your totes that you have probably in your basement, attic, whatever. Just big plastic bins that you're throwing a bunch of junk into, and it's all just swimming around in there. What Busby has done is they called us about this like a long time ago. So we had a fun chat with him as he was designing it. They had a prototype there. It wasn't the finished version, so it's not going to be like the flashiest, but it looks pretty damn good for a prototype. This thing is latched up, see-through top, has dividers in it, and you can vertically like divide your tackle boxes or whatever gear you want. So I thought that was really, really cool, and I'm excited to see what that finished product looks like. It's not insanely priced for a high-tech bin as compared to a Yeti. What do they call that one? The Go Box or whatever? What's the Yeti one?
Yeah, the Go Box.
Go Box, yeah, it's way more affordable than that, and they have a small size and a big size. So I thought that was awesome. Definitely
pretty
all
dope
for it. Okay, my God, you keep adding things. We'll never escape this hell.
Just go fast. This one's important though.
TFO. What did you like about TFO, Paul?
So TFO fixed my biggest gripe with their rods. They have two new three new lines out. We'll do a whole video. I'm just saying this right now. St. Croix fixed my only gripe that I had with them. They made a cheap, we'll call it a value version, a new value version that's coming out. You guys will see that on a video soon. And then they made like the mid to high range, the attack series. So dope. It really looks super nice. And that's the one I'm probably gonna be running. Right. And I want to try one of the resolves super bad. And then they re-released a rod that we have been using for the last couple of weeks, which is their ultralight. So their panfish. There's a second series, better guides, redesigned grip, and a new sage color. And it's only like $10 more. So I was all in. Their stuff looks so nice. So that's where I'm at for them.
Awesome. Definitely was a fan as well, and yeah, looking to get my hands on one or two of those. It'll be cool. And the Panfish Pro 2 is awesome. Ultralight spinning, that's going to be a go-to for sure. Okay, so what didn't blow us away? Let's wrap the show up with this. Let's do a schmiv-away, y'all. We're gonna talk about what didn't blow us away, and then I think we can even wrap up further with.
We'll do it during this.
Yeah. You want to talk about the worst of the worst?
Yes.
What was before we jump into that? Then what was the best thing that you saw at ICast? You got to pick one single thing.
Dang, man.
I know, right? Worst is so much.
Tell everyone to start chatting while I think.
All right, well, start chatting. Do the thing where you write chat or you write anything into the chat. And that way you will be entered into our random draw for the Schmiv-away. We're going to do the $25 gift card. I know a lot of people are watching other live, so unfortunately we didn't get to that top viewer number, but that's okay. What's that?
We hit 105.
105? Well, I mean, we haven't hit 126 yet. So somebody go real quick, create 12 to 25 fake accounts and make it look cool. Anyways, we'll draw in just a little bit for that gift card. And if you win, make sure you say something. Otherwise, 2-minute timer is in effect, people. Yeah. All right.
I would say it's really close between the Titan X and the Arc booth, the total Arc booth. It's got to be one of those
totality of Arc.
Well, yeah, that $90 gravity. I don't know, so the one or the three, whatever, the $90 one. That or and the BFS, but also that Titan X. So I'm gonna go Titan X for the Kayak
You just
people.
said like 9 things.
No, Titan X and the two reels from Arc, like the Arc booth in general.
Sure.
Their releases are really nice. I'll go Titan X.
Mm-hmm.
That's the final answer.
Final answer. I dig it. I will try not to pick the exact same, although Titan X is in my top 5. And you're taking all the good stuff. So whoa, oh man. I'm trying to think, like, what I think about with what is the best is like when I go, oh my God, like I'm freaking.
And I wanted something to be new, not something that's just like there.
Trying to pick something new. Nothing, honestly, like nothing made me go, oh my God. Like,
what about casting in general?
I think in general, I'm impressed. I wouldn't call it the best of the best at ICast, though. That's kind of
EPDL.
The EPDL, again, we've discussed this. The price point kind of bonks it down a little bit. But if we're just saying like what we thought was the coolest thing, I'd say yes. The EPDL to me was
fair enough.
Pretty freaking cool, especially with that redesigned hull.
Yeah.
So if we're saying like neatest thing, heck yeah. I did not see Rocket's post. Let me run on back up that chat. Shout outs to Rocket Blades, member for 24 months with us in the Snorlax crew.
25 out of 10.
a really good relationship going on here. We are crushing it, you guys. I want to know what's the first new things from ICast that you both will be buying. I would watch an inflatable kayak beatdown vid for sure, so that's something we got to do. Can't wait for November to meet up and fish with all the nerds. Same here, man. I'm excited for November for the Knucklehead Bass Series tournament. That's going to be a blast. First thing you're going to buy from ICast, Paul?
It's either going to be an arc reel, or it's if I don't buy it, but I get it, it's going to be either some TFO sticks, or it's going to be a casking rod. More than likely.
I think the Kestrel Elite, the Arc BFS. You're glitching, bro. Turn your camera off and on. Neat. So the Arc reel for sure, Kestrel Elite for sure. Something else I would buy. Oh, the Z-Man stuff. As soon as that hits the stuff, I'm gonna buy all of it.
Fair.
I mean, we can talk about copying the Gobius from the Dark Sleeper all day long, but I'm still gonna buy it. Especially since we fished those Temu ones and they did some interesting things for us.
I'm sorry.
I was waiting for it. Oh no! All right, so Slow Rolling Thunder is now. What didn't blow you away at ICast? You go first.
Are we doing the Schmiv away?
Sure. Let's do it right now, and then we'll just roll out with the fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Chaz, you ready to schmiv some schmuffed people?
Oh,
Scott Vermonter, aka Rob Harrison, aka Scott Vermonter. It was Rob Harrison.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Listen, we're all Scott Vermonter. I thought we already discussed this, you guys.
Just double checking.
Paul,
congratulations, Rob Harrison. Can't wait to send you this $25 gift card.
Yeah, you didn't say it right. All right, Rob Harrison, congrats, brother. Just send us your info, man. We'll take care of you.
What did not blow me away?
Yeah. Okay,
tackle
what didn't blow us
away? Just people submitting basic tackle
That's
boxes. That was insane. There were like 3 of them. I added late the line storage bag. That's the lunchbox, the soft side of lunchbox.
Well, there's a little one, and then there was a huge one.
It was insane.
Which reminds me of like storing 50 fly reels or something. I'm like, what are we doing, man?
Just buy a tub. It was insane.
Nobody's innovating the tackle boxes. Like they're all like
just
all the same.
Yeah. Plano jerkbait box was a total scam. I don't.
You guys will see it in the Monday vid. I go, oh, neat. Smash. It holds 20 jerkbaits. I love it. And then Paul goes, Marsh. And I'm like, why? And then he goes, $50. And I turn around. I'm like, oh, Marsh, which by the way, our new scoring system
is the middle.
Is Smash. Obviously. Marsh is in the middle. It's like the meh. And then trash. There's no in between.
All right. So the Go Boat. Look, can I say this about Go Boat? Jeff, you're on the look. It's just a spinny vessel. I see no purpose. I
will throw up so much, you guys.
100%. Chad Hoover left a comment that really resonated with me. He was like, "Look, it's not for you, but it's well designed for a very specific purpose. Inexpensive, highly transportable, and if you're like a pond guy, it actually is probably really good on a pond when you're protected by trees. You don't get a lot of wind on the right time. I respect that. He is correct. I am wrong, but it's not for me."
100%. I think it's great for bumper boats. I'm only
2 things it's good for.
If they're like, do you guys want us to send you one? I'd be like, can you send 2? Like, I just want to hit my friend on the lake all day long.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
That would be the video.
Z-Man rattle injector.
Dude, we couldn't figure this thing out, you guys. And it was one that I was like, this could be cool. So I'm
Jeff's
just saying,
trying to tell me, he's trying to sell me. I'm like, bro, no.
I thought it was going to be cool. I go over to it. It has a lot of different, moving parts, surprisingly, for an injector, right?
We went very ADD, though, on it. We did no instructions, did not ask for any help. We just walked up, we're like, what the fart? And we're stabbing the plastics and nothing happened. So, spoiler alert.
Listen, if you guys don't know us by now, one of our annual things for ICast is we break something at Z-Man.
100%
of the time so far. Right. 2 for 2, baby. So, watch out next year. What are we going to break next time? I don't know, but it'll be at the Z-Man booth.
You'll find out at this installment of ICast Z.
The thing had a million parts, and I was like, I feel like this should be more intuitive than this.
And incredibly sharp.
And it was very sharp, which is why they have the surgical tubing on the end.
Which is not going to do jack.
It's not. If you fall on that thing, you're going right to the tubing.
You are injecting an air bubble into one of your veins.
So I retract my prior statement. I am not impressed by that.
Trash. St. Croix. This goes for both the St. Croix 7 reels and the St. Croix new Mojo series. What are your thoughts?
I liked the Mojo series. I would
Why?
fish the Mojo
The
series.
Trigon? Why?
Why not? The Mojo rods have been great forever. They're
But
not.
that's not they're
like,
redesigned. What was so great about the design?
dude, we didn't get a chance to fish it. This is a first look thing.
But assuming the Mojo fishes as good as the Mojo, I see
it's a
they
great
added
rod for
angles.
price.
They added angles. That's what they did to the reel seat. I saw like there was nothing
my
there to be
God.
impressed by at all.
Yeah, you're right. I can't have an opinion on that.
Well, they added points.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, but like they won an award.
No, but also trash.
They won an award for that.
Hey, I didn't say anything about the award. It has nothing to do. I'm allowed to be impressed by something that, won or didn't win. I'm just saying. I'm suggesting. There's nothing wrong with it. They bought themselves an award, probably. I don't know, like everybody else.
But I just when I look at that design compared to all the other stuff that we saw, all they did was made pointy. They made pointy grips. I was like, it looks kind of like a cork lightsaber now. I mean,
anyways, it's fine. The 7 reels though,
trash.
Not at all. Not even close. We held a couple of them, and then we saw them at the showcase, and we were like, "Nah, dog, that ain't
over
me."
100, almost $150 for a carbon reel with no discernible extra anything. It has all the same stats as everything else, and the crappiest marketing that you could ask for.
The price killed me. I think they submitted a 400 or 500 size bait caster to the product showcase as well.
Did they?
I think so. I think I'm editing that video right now. I didn't get to that point.
Jesus.
But I remember seeing a bait caster this big, and I was like, "But why?" Like, and not a barrel style, like our typical bait caster that we're using. I was like, "Why is it so huge?"
Mark Thomas called this one out. He said, "Has anyone read the new law in Maine? So you can't sell small lead weights and jigs in Maine anymore.
You got to go all tungsten."
Yeah, mandated. It's illegal now. What are your hearing that? What are your initial thoughts?
I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, I get the environmental impact of it, and at the same time, kind of sucks. You got to spend way more money for a thing that we're like, it's fine.
And the government's mandating. Nobody likes that, so I kind of get both.
The government doesn't like when, or we don't like when the government mandates anything. Let's be real.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't
so
matter.
like I respect all of it, but I'm kind of like, okay, sounds good. They did it for duck hunters. Like
Massachusetts has been lead free for a while now. Says
I'm kind of like, you know what? I get it, man.
Yeah,
I get it. Lead's a problem.
Robert says Maine sucks.
What do you think about the Tatula 100?
I didn't get my hands on it.
We saw it though.
I mean, sure, I saw it.
I put it in the same exact category as the SLX-A. Like, okay,
it's a neat redesign. Like, they should be continuously redesigning that. All of those should have an upgraded one, right? I don't expect the same model next year to be like that mind blowing. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be. If it's great, it's great. Keep on making it better. Don't sell me the 2007 model in 2023. I'm good with it.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it. Well, I guess the category didn't blow me away. I wouldn't say it's trash. It's great. It's great. All right. Did we do it? I think we got through.
We did it.
So, what was the absolute worst to you? The bottom
for me, it was the whole St. Croix. I thought that, like, I mean, I have no problem with them redesigning the rods. There was a lot of hype over it that I thought was unjustified, and the 7 reels were horrific. I could not have been more underwhelmed by the 7 reels.
Sure.
So St. Croix. And I like St. Croix rods. I have no problem with the Mojo Bass, and I'm sure they're fine. But like, everyone was so hyped, and I was like, it's semi-triangular cork, hard pass.
Yeah, I would say the thing I was like least agreeant on hype for was probably, well, I guess like the depths cover scat copy baits like that, because it just made me mad. At the same time, I was like, why did you submit this, and how did you do it with the straight face? You know what I mean?
I think like 60% of the bait drops, I was like,
oh, there was a lot. There was a lot of when we were walking around the new product showcase. We were like, okay, all the
no,
jigs.
your least favorite was the alligator.
The alligator. You're right. Thank you for reminding me of that.
You're welcome.
I just edited that. I edited like a bunch of videos today, so they all blend together at some point. The alligator from whatever friggin' brand that was is like the dumbest.
It's
thing
a very
I've ever
cartoony
seen.
looking alligator lure that's about 4 or 5 inches long.
It's a novelty gummy one. Like if
It
you
looks
guys
like
ever
a
got
gummy bear.
you get like the big gummy bear. They make gummy
croc.
alligators.
Sorry.
Yeah, gummy croc. My bad.
Gummy gator. Oh my god.
Yeah, the
How
gummy
did they not
gator.
name it that?
It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm sure somebody's be like, "Those only catch 20-pounders." And I'd be like, "Friggin' neat. I don't want it. Why?
It was insane.
Why?"
Yeah.
That was it. All right. Well, there we go, you guys. I think that is a wrap on ICast. As far as the podcast goes, we're going to move back to our normally scheduled funness next week. So we'll be back again next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, or 8:15 p.m. Eastern. We've only been doing this for like, what?
2 months.
3 months, you guys. It's not routine yet for me. So back at 8:15 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday. Members only live not next Tuesday, August 8th. August 8th, we'll be here for the members. New members only content dropping this weekend next. I got some fun stuff for you guys, and if we get any B-roll stuff from ICast, we'll throw that at you guys too. We're only going to roll ICast videos on the channel for the next week and a half, just because we have like 6 left. We kind of broke it into categories. We have new product showcase. We have new rods and reels video. We got the new kayak showcase, will be this Friday. We've got a BFS showcase for all the new BFS stuff where we connected with the Bait Finesse Empire guys, which was really cool. Super awesome group of people. We had RAR Fishing in that group as well, and Hunter Fisher. It was awesome. So we got that video dropping, and then I'm probably missing one more, and I think that's it. I think we had like 5 left. So we're almost there. Then we have a whole bunch of fishing videos for you guys that we've been backed up on. We fished the Temu stuff. We fished the cheap versus expensive stuff.
Why do you keep saying it? Trying to go to bed, dude.
So we got Temu videos coming up.
Are you joking me?
I think I'm gonna shop on Temu tonight.
Stop it. Get some help.
I can't. No one help me. All right, guys. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week, and love you. Bye, nerds.
Emotional damage. Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game.